think this is around by the time where they would tell you listen to this track, bitch. I don't give a fuck now like me. I say I don't give a fuck down like me. Oh no, I don't give a fuck down like me. Sorry, I don't give a fuck down like me.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to AJC. Welcome to my day. Well, you know what today is. Today is Friday, my random interview day. I'm going to interview my brother today regarding being an African American male in America. That's a good topic. And I'm also going to show you some videos that I've been watching again regarding, I'd like to just say we lost the best performer in the world. Everybody think it's Michael Jackson. I don't think so. We lost Prince yesterday, and I really, really am a fan of Prince. This man was an original, and I just think that we lost the best performer in the world. Just my opinion. Well, today I'm going to interview my brother, and I'm going to talk about being an African American male in society. Yes. So at the end of the day, let me call my brother and get him on the phone and interview him, because everybody know on Fridays I do random interviews. Last Friday I had my niece on the phone, and she was awesome. Everybody know that my family is awesome. But let me get him on the phone, call him right now for this random interview so we could talk to him regarding being an African American male. Hello, brother. How you doing? Say hi to everybody around the world.
Hello, people.
But anyway, I'm getting right into it. You don't need to know his name. I'll call him Nate. And I want to interview regarding. First, I want to interview. How do you feel being an African American male? I know you don't like that word, but I'll use it today. Being an African American male in this society. Are you afraid, or just tell me your opinion about that situation?
I used to be afraid, not as much afraid as I've gotten older. I understand the processes, and it's a mind state of how you deal with things to survive. So if you go into things with the wrong mind state, you're going to have issues. So I'm not as afraid as I used to be, but you always have that in the back of your head that anything can happen on any given day. So,
are you afraid of when it comes down to getting pulled over by a police officer? Are you afraid of them even just causing you harm?
I mean, I think every black male grows up with that fear of something happening to them when you pulled over. I mean, I've been pulled over for no reason. I've been pulled over for small, unnecessary things. So you always have that fear in the back of your head. But as I've educated myself, I understand the way to deal with things and processes. So that fear is not as much as it used to be, but you do always have that fear, coming across the road or the police officer, that just may have an attitude or that
So, what do you think? As I know that you're an older African American male, what do you want to give to the younger generation that is growing up? What inspiration or advice would you like to give to them?
Always strive to be a better you. Be a better you. You're better for your family. You're better for society, your community. You know, the more you improve yourself, it reflects on everything around you. So always strive and push people to achieve greatness in everything you do. I don't care if you walk a dog for a living. Try to be the best dog walker that you can. You know, to strive for greatness in everything that you do.
And how do you feel about us as African Americans? We really have to teach our young men today to be cautious and be alert when police officers approach us.
Of course, you have to because we're marked for death out here in society. People don't want to admit that, but black men are marked for death. We are just hated in this society for some reason, and we've done a lot of great things in this society. We have a lot of great black men that have contributed to society in so many positive ways, but we're still marked and looked upon as the scourge of this society. So yeah, you have to teach your kids to be careful when you deal with police officers. You have to teach your kids to watch what you say. You can't do certain things. You can't say certain things because you're going to get bad reactions. You're going to be perceived as angry. You just want to be treated right. And you know it's wrong. You just want to be treated right, but you're going to be perceived as an angry black man. So then, that's going to start the wheel of bad things to turning. So you have to learn how to deal with things in the correct way, just so you can survive their situation.
Okay, well, did you see the situation at hand about Gurley? I know you should be familiar with this situation. It was an Asian. I don't know where he's really from. I know he's from American, but he looked Asian. I think it's Ling Ping or something like that. And I'm gonna talk about him today. How do you feel that he received? He didn't receive, and the Attorney General did not go after a sentence. The only sentence that he received was a 5-year probation by killing an innocent, unarmed man that's in the hallway, and he was aware of that person. How do you feel about getting 5 years of probation that he were aware of this young man, African American male, in the hallway, and he shot him and killed him dead?
And again, that just shows what black men mean to this society. We don't look at you as being human. You don't look at you as being a part of this society. This is not everyone out here, but this has just been the vast view that has been portrayed of black people, American black people, in this society. Because other black people, black men come from different cultures, but not treated this way. Just American black men that are treated this way.
Right, because I think my opinion is 5 years probation, not one single sentence, and they're thinking it's okay. And I'm thinking that, and they brought the charge down from second-degree murder to manslaughter, and I'm thinking now because it's been prominent around the world that a lot of officers are getting off because the prosecutors are not prosecuting. And so they decide, okay, we're going to prosecute, but we're still going to let him live his life. We're going to let him be with his wife and everything. Even though this young African-American male is dead, we still going to just put him on 800 community service and 5 years probation. We're still convicting. We're doing you a just due. That's basically what it seems to mean that they want to rub in our face and thinking.
That's what they're doing. That's what
Right.
they're doing. That's just what we as black men mean to this society. No, it's period point blank. This is what we mean to society. You are not wanted in this society. You're not. Your value is zero in this society. So why should we interrupt someone else's life because someone took your life?
What you think? What is the reason behind that? What do you think? Your opinion. What do you think the reason behind that? They are so afraid of African American men.
Because we're strong. We're strong. We're strong people. We've been strong for years, and it's always been that fear. This is just embedded slavery from years and years. It's just been embedded into society to think that black people are not human. Black men are worthless. No matter what we do, you will still be worthless. It's embedded. You're trying to change centuries and centuries of thinking.
Now, this is the crazy part because they put black men, African American men, as deadbeat dads and as people who really not trying to do nothing in society. Now,
that has just been proven to be false.
yeah, right, because
I just read a report on the internet not too long ago where they say that black men spend more time with their kids than any other race in the world. We spend more time with our children than any other race. It has just been proven to be false.
and I know for a fact that you have a daughter and you actually took care of that daughter very well. Go ahead and just say how it just kills me how they portray you guys. And I saw for a fact you was in your daughter's life ever since she was born and took care of your daughter. And it's sad that they would sit up there and betray. And how do you feel like they show the worst guys on TV that have like 10 or 20 babies from different baby mothers? How do you feel about that?
I mean, that's just part of the brainwashing that they have of black people. They always show the worst. You never see, the solid families. My parents have been married for 50 years. Talking about black people in that manner. A lot of my friends that I come around, they come from two-parent homes.
Yep.
There are bad people in all races, but for some reason they like to show this only how black people are.
Yep.
A lot of friends who have mom and dad who've been married for years, who stayed together through thick and thin, but they don't like to show this. They always show the black man as the one who's leaving, who's breaking the home. But this is part of the indoctrination of how they want you to think that black people are, and it's not like that.
Most definitely, because I tell people, and you and I talk a lot, this systematic system is just built to go against African Americans in general. And people don't get it, and that's the question I would ask you. What do you expect, or what do you want our African American sisters, brothers, and sisters to mainly do? Do you think they should get education, read books more? What in what way do you think?
I mean, of course, you want the community to educate itself because you know better, you do better. You learn to work through problems the correct way. So, yeah, of course, you definitely want to educate your people, but you also need to understand why our society, our community is how it is, and how this is to do everything. And it's just when the black man is like, well, I'm leaving. I don't have to deal with it. But this is stuff that that has been put in since slavery. We're still dealing with the side effects of slavery years later.
So how do you think that we as a people can actually solve the problem because of the Willie Lynch complex?
We have to stick together. It's period, point blank. We have to lift each other in all ways, shapes, or form. You have to stick together. You have to grow. You have to understand. You have to accept the good parts and the bad parts of our community. But we all have to stick together, no matter what.
Message, and I preach this all the time. Unity is a must. And I tell people on here, it's not just African Americans, it's people of color. And that can be Asians, that can be Native Americans, that could be any person of color. We have to remember we need to unite to really get anything solved. How do you feel about the colorism that we have in our culture? How do you feel like we have to bleach our skins to fit in, or we go against each other because of light skin, dark skin? And I know that's part of the Willie Lynch complex as well.
Oh, yeah, it's part of the Willie Lynch complex. It's part of Western civilization where you have to be a part of it. You know, people are striving to be accepted instead of being, hey, accepted as part of this society. We should to be accepted as who you are, that's integrated into this society. And the more and more as this melting pot slowly that they call this country is happening, we're losing cultures. And you know, in order for us to stand up and continue to stand out, we have to stick together. We have to understand, hey, we came from this background. Let's promote a strong cultural background so we can stand out and not just become part of this society, this Western civilization that's bringing us all together as one where people don't know where they came from.
Yeah, this is true. And it's a lot of African American men that we go back on education. I know for a fact you went back to school, and I always stress this school deal because nobody can, once you get that education, no one can take that away from you. And a lot of African Americans, it's a lack. It's not a lack of I say it's lack. It's a lack of African American men in college. Why is that so?
How the best way to say is you are exposed, you become what you're exposed to. And it's easy for people to say, oh, well, you guys don't do this, you don't do that. You have to realize a lot of people from our background don't come from these things. So if your daddy grew up as a farmer, his granddaddy probably taught him to be a farmer. So he's going to teach you, and you're going to be exposed to things of being a farmer. No matter what you see around you, you're going to see a lot of different things. You're going to see people that's going to be doctors, lawyers, and all this, but this is where you came from. You're going to tend to lean towards what you know. So this comes back to being a good parent, you know, pushing your kids to, you know, explore and see other things in life. Make that choice to understand that you don't have to have a job, you can have a career. And you have to explain and teach people, your kids, especially black men, the difference between a job and a career. So you have a job, it's a job. You can work at McDonald's, you can drive a truck, it's a job. But when you got a career, you got options. You can go from one field to another field because you put yourself in a position the other thing about it is that we're chasing money. People are chasing money. You chase money to live, to survive, to get through everyday life. Instead of understanding, hey, if I do these things, I don't have to chase money. It'll come to me. So people don't, you have to look at things different. And I don't think we're slowly getting more black role models. You're slowly seeing things change in society. You're seeing more black people enroll in college. But it's a mindset. It's what you teach your kids to understand. Hey, look, if you do this, it'll put you here. If you go to school at 18, finish your bachelor's at 24, have your master's by the time you're 26. By the time you're 36, you should be set and have enough money to where you can live and enjoy your life when you're 46. Instead of struggling, you struggle when you're younger, you get yourself in a position where you can achieve and do better as you get older.
When do you see African Americans, period, take responsibility? Because I mean, your parent can only do something, even if they do not advise you. You have a mindset. You can think on your own at a certain age. When do you think that they should take responsibility of themselves?
That is something. You start taking responsibility of yourself when you're young. We started working when we was in high school. We started these things when you're young, and you keep pushing forward. My parents taught us, hey, if you don't go to school, you gotta have a job. But they didn't explain what I said earlier about the difference between a job and a career. This is what they was taught. So this is a mindset that you start with when you're younger, but the more and more you expose yourself to in life, you should grow as a person. You should be able to understand, hey, I did this, or I've been here, I've seen this. But what if I make these changes in myself? What else can I do? Where else can I go? So you have to have some part of you in yourself that has a drive to do better and become better.
So then it doesn't lie on the parents all the time. It lies on that individual.
Yeah, it does. That individual who you surround yourself around, the decisions that you make. Yeah, at some point you were a product of your parents, but you become your own product. As you get older in life, you make decisions that are probably not always good, but if you're not learning from those decisions, you're going to continue to stay in that same pit. You got to want to get out of that pit. You got to want to grow. So, yeah, it does become a point where you make decisions for yourself. And that's one thing I know. There's one big thing I don't think people truly understand. You have a choice in everything that you do.
Right, because I know for a fact that you used to drive trucks and you went back to school and you transferred from being a truck driver into a office. Now, I know it's totally different. Are you happy of that transformation?
Oh, yeah, definitely happy. Miss the freedom of being out on the road, but glad I'm not out there driving like I used to. I definitely am happy with my decision.
Are you ready to?
Just the point of me just going back and wanting to improve.
Exactly, because I was going to ask the next point. Are you looking to pursue higher, even though you already went to higher learning, are you going to go farther up, getting your master's or anything like that?
Yeah, definitely pursuing to go back to school, finish some more. And me being in IT, certifications are a big part of that. So working on those. So you got to keep growing. Don't stop growing because you're out of school. Don't stop gaining knowledge because you're out of school. You actually gain more knowledge after you get your degrees.
Exactly. How do you feel now? You living in Missouri. How do you feel about the situation happened in Ferguson?
What do you,
How did you feel when you saw everything occurring?
a lot of people want to look at Ferguson as being a bad community. It's not a bad community. It was a bad situation that happened in the community. Yeah, no one liked that situation. 18-year-old kid killed by a cop. A white cop killed a black kid. No one's happy about that. It's just a reflection of the community that we live in. Back to what we were talking about earlier, how black men are not looked upon as being equal.
And again, that's another situation a cop didn't serve not one time. It continued to happen around the world, and we can see it in Baltimore, North Carolina, Ferguson, all these places, Florida, where I'm from. They continue to shoot down African American men, and yes, I have my brother on the phone, who lives in Missouri, with the situation at hand. I just asked about Ferguson, and then how does he feel about that? And again, he explained that situation, but it's a crazy ordeal that we see it around here, and it's good to speak to an African American male on his point of view and what is going on in America. And not only that, a great father was raised in a two-parent household, and I was too. Like he said, most of his friends have been raised in a two-parent household. So it's amazing how Fox portray us as African Americans like we're in the ghetto and we was raised by only a mother. And don't get me wrong, yeah, there's a lot of kids are being raised by an African American mother who happen to be very strong. But education is definitely the key here to learn more in life. And I know that he's stressing a lot of African American men to go out there and get education. I have always stressed that on my podcast and on Periscope, that you need to get your education, because that's one thing that they cannot take away from you. They can take your freedom away from you too. Don't get it wrong. You need to read the Constitution, but they cannot take that education. That's why they put out so many laws. And are you familiar with the laws that they was putting out? Even in Missouri, they was putting out laws, tried to prevent African Americans, at that particular time, Africans, of learning. I mean, how do you feel that you see most of us as African Americans? Because I'm just going to put it all on the out there. African Americans are not trying to get the education, and our ancestors actually fought for our education. Not only that, how do you feel with the education? It's a two-part question. How do you feel with the education and the voting rights? Because we know for our ancestors fought so hard to vote. How do you feel about those two things?
I think it's a perception thing with education. There's a lot of black people out here going to school, but that's part of society. You say, hey, we don't do this, we don't do that. And then when you deal with the bad part of society, people that are not trying to strive to be better, you do categorize people. You put them in the same category. You got people out here that are not going to school, but they're living productive lives. They're not trying to hurt people, but you do have those, as that old saying goes back, one bad apple spoils the whole bunch.
True that.
Sometimes you do get perception versus reality. We do get it mixed up. We do get it skewed that, hey, just because one person's doing something, then all people are doing it, and that's not necessarily true. We got a lot of black kids going to school. There are a lot of black people that are trying to strive themselves, which you do see because of television. You only see certain sectors of these things. And then generally they don't show the good sectors of life.
So how do you feel about them not voting?
Again, society. This is the whole point about society. Who do you trust? Who has your interest at heart? You know, who's out there that's going to look out for you? We don't trust people. We have trust issues in this country. They're warranted.
So you basically you're saying that because we have trust issue, and I understand that, but when it comes down to voting and how our ancestors fought and died to vote, you're saying not to vote?
No, I'm not saying not to
Okay.
vote. What I'm saying is you have to look at it like this. People, it's sad because people are going to forget the things that happened in the past. And the more you have that separation of the struggle and the strive to get these things, people who didn't go through it are not going to understand it. So you get accustomed to it. We're accustomed to being able to do certain things now. I would never be able to associate myself with not being able to ride the bus or sit in any seat that I want. Because the people who came before me put us in a position where, hey, I can get on the bus and not have to say, hey, you only got to sit in the back. But I know I'll never understand that struggle because I wasn't exposed to it. So they're the same thing with the voting rights. People who don't vote now because they don't know what it means not to never had the opportunity to vote. So that's part of it. Is just there's that separation from the struggle into what we're in reality now. Is that people are like, okay, well, I can do it if I want to. If not, then oh well, I won't worry about it. So that's why a lot of people don't go out and vote now because hey, I don't have to, and it's just a part of society now. They do it when they feel like it. They don't. Some people don't trust the system, so they don't worry about it. Well, it's not going to change. That's the other part. It's not going to change. My vote won't matter. Yeah, your vote does matter. So get out and vote.
So do you think that a lot of people have the entitlement attitude?
Yeah, and they should. They should to a certain extent because they've never had to deal with this struggle. They've never had to. They don't know what it's like not to vote. You cannot tell a 20-something-year-old person that he can't go vote. I'm entitled to vote because of the things that people did 50, 60 years ago. So yeah, they're going to have that entitlement attitude.
Okay. Interesting on a male point of view. Do you have any encouragement before I let you go? Because I know you want to go and sleep because he was creeping last night. No, I'm just kidding, people. He was exercising. What encouragement can you, as African American male, to other African American males, how can you encourage them to, with their kids or education? Read your last saying. Go ahead.
Strive for greatness. Period. Point blank. Strive for greatness. Understand. I don't think we need to teach our kids to understand the whole process of what it is to achieve. Understand, hey, if you do this, you get this. Instead of just saying, hey, go to school, you need education. And they're going to say, well, no, I see people who don't have education striving. Yeah, that's true. You do have select few who are not educated and they excel. But most people have to go to school, have to get an education, have to go through the process of growing in society to get themselves into a better place. So teach your kids to strive for greatness. Understand, hey, if you do this, if you take these steps here, later on in life, you don't have to worry about this. You know, you do things now, it'll help you later on in life.
Well, guys, you heard it best from my brother, and from a male's point of view, from a male point of view as an African American who lives in society, who also raised his daughter and come from a two-parent household. Um, hey, can't beat that one. Yeah, a lot of people will sit up there and say there's no good African American men out here, but it is, and he's single. Ladies, he's single in Missouri.
Hey, can I correct you on something?
Yes,
Are you there?
yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, there are no good African American men out here.
Look
You know
at
why?
that.
Because they're all great African Americans.
Look, you're gonna change it. Yes, okay. The kings. And this is where I want people to realize that you are kings and queens out there. So don't ever just doubt yourself. And I'm glad that he corrected me. He said, great. Well, I go higher than that. My king. All right. So
All right.
greatness is in African Americans. If you learn your history, you will know that we as African Americans come from the best people. They was kings and queens, and they did things, and they still trying to figure out how to build a pyramid. But I thank you, brother, for letting me interview you today. So now you can go back and get some sleep or get up and go to work, because I know you have to be there at 12.
Yeah, I'm going to work. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye, people.
Yes, people, had an interview with my brother. Had to, because I had to get on the situation regarding being an African American male in this society who's going against them. They made laws now. Stand your ground. They only use that only if they want to go against African American men. And that was a great interview, and I love that. I love my brother. But yeah, let's get on the situation at hand. Let's talk about Peter Lane. I mentioned it while I was interviewing my brother. He received 800 community service and 5 years probation, killing an innocent unarmed man. The district attorney, the attorney general, the prosecutor didn't see nothing wrong with him killing an unarmed man, and he think all he had to do is apologize and cry. Well, guess what? We are the lowest species out here. This man is Asian, and he's still getting away with murder, and it's okay. He can live his life, but guess what? These people lost their son, Gurley. They lost their son. He can't come back, but no one is serving time. But I guarantee you, if it was us who killed a Caucasian or Asian, and I'm telling it's crazy that we would have served time. We would have served time. And I also was looking at, not too long ago, now this is the crazy part. Now I'm getting on the same subject. This cop got caught. I'm going to show the video. This cop got caught soliciting an undercover cop for $20 to do fellatio. If you don't know what that is, you do not need to be on here. But everybody should know what fellatio means. And he was fired. He was fired. And he's gonna face criminal charges. But they can prosecute him on criminal charges of trying to solicit trying to get or sex from undercover cop for $20. Thought she was a prostitute, but they can't convict them when they're killing an African American male who happened to be unarmed. Isn't that something? They could convict this cop for soliciting, but they cannot convict him for killing someone. Are you serious? I want to show this video, and it's technical difficulties. I tell you. Okay, let's go back. I want to show this video. I really do. Let's show this video. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
A Boynton Beach police officer is on the other
In
side
Florida,
of the
y'all.
law tonight and now without a badge. Detectives say in this video the now former officer was soliciting sex. News Channel 5's Alyssa Hyman joins us now live from the Boynton Police Department with a twist in the investigation. Alyssa?
Well, Officer Vin Tyre Finney is accused of negotiating oral sex for $20. But investigators say what he didn't know is he was soliciting an undercover PBSO deputy. And it was all caught on camera. Take a look.
What do you want? What do you want?
According to the Boynton Beach Police Department, this is the video that shows Officer Finney negotiating sexual acts with that undercover PBSO deputy. It happened back in October, and that's when Finney was placed on administrative leave. The Boynton Beach Police Department says failure to follow the law is a violation of their policies, so they fired him. We spoke with some of Finney's neighbors who say they are shocked by these accusations.
Everybody's crooked nowadays, so you can't really stop people from doing what they're gonna do. He seems like he was cool, every time I see him, I wave to him, he waves back, so he looks like a cool person. Just, some people do have their dark sides, and it comes out sometimes.
And the police department says Finney had been with them since 2008. The state attorney's office says Finney is now facing criminal charges. His next court date is in May. For now, reporting live in Boynton Beach, Alyssa Hyman, WPTV News Channel 5.
Criminal charges,
A
people.
Boynton Beach
Criminal
police officer is on the
criminal
other side of the
charges,
law tonight
people.
and now without
Criminal charges. Face criminal charges after he solicited to a prostitute. Well, was an undercover cop. But we couldn't get Peter Lang to get convicted of an African American male. But they could put him in jail if you ask for sex or fellatio. But they couldn't get him to go to jail. What's wrong with this system? Somebody help me understand. What is wrong with this system? Something wrong with the system to convict somebody for that, but won't convict somebody for murder. Oh, I'm going to give you a slap on the hand. You still can be with your wife and have kids, even though that young man over there is dead and his family no longer can see him anymore. We still going to go ahead and we're going to let you have your life. But we're not going to let you, we're going to convict you if you ask for fellatio. To me, that sounds a little backwards, wouldn't you think so? You took a young man's life and you turn around and convict a man who asked for a fellatio. Sound like a problem to me. Sound like a problem to me. So I was looking at let me go back here on my video because I'm going to show my video. I know that the people on my podcast, you are not seeing anything. You can always go on Periscope to look me up. The Rebirth and the New Trend. The Rebirth and the New Trend. And you would see me on here talking and showing the video. Because I like that. Now, how do you think and what do you guys think about Harriet Tubman? be in replace of Andrew Jackson on the $20 bill. I think it's grand. I think it's great. It's a start. They need to take Andrew Jackson off. If anybody know about history, how he really did wrong by the Native Americans. Oh my God, he really did wrong by the Native Americans. So a lot of Native Americans wouldn't even have a $20 bill in their pocket at all. They're not going to have a $20 bill in their pocket. But I'd like to talk about this Delaware student who lost her life by fighting. My people, come on. A young lady who happened to be 16 years old in Delaware, two young ladies jumped her in the restroom. Her name was Amy Joyner. And she was fighting two young ladies, not one, two young ladies in the restroom. Shouldn't be fighting at all anyway in high school. And she lost her life because she hit her head on the sink and she died. This violence needs to stop, people. This makes no sense at all. I mean, this young lady lost her life. This is ridiculous for someone to lose their life. Come on. Fighting, she shouldn't have lost her life at all. We see that a lot of flooding going on in, you know what? I do want to address this. Ben Carson, when they suggest that Harriet Tubman be on the $20 bill, he say no, she should be on the $20 bill. She should be on the $2 bill. Nobody don't even spend $2. You rarely can find $2, a $2 bill. This guy really taunted his legacy. I mean, you know, he's not gonna get too much from me. Ben Carson, I'm good with that. I'm good with his ignorant behind. He have really went there, and it's just ridiculous for a person to I just don't. You know what? I don't understand. Just can't comprehend what people continue to do. But I do want to get on this situation. This Milwaukee teacher, he was a teacher aide, and this young man got into this Milwaukee teacher face, and it was a scuffle. But guess what? I doubt he's going to get back in that teacher face again. And I know students out here, they're really doing wrong. I mean, they're getting into adults' face and they're thinking it's okay. And then something happened that I know a lot of students didn't. And I have seen a lot of it being played out. And these teachers or these cops they're getting ridiculous about the situation at hand. But this student got in this teacher's face, and the teacher did try to tell him to get out of his face, and now he's going to the hospital. I know that the teacher should have acted accordingly, should have acted as an adult, and didn't allow this young man to get him stirred up. But I know for a fact, as being in school, that these students will go into the teacher's face and they will cause harm. And I want to show this video. I want you guys to listen to this video with this teacher scuffling with this young man. So let me go ahead and play this video here, and you'll see the ordeal with this young man.
This is your third down.
He have him down, pinned down, and he have his knee on the young man's chest. But
And
everybody
right now,
could see
teacher's
this, and you
aide
could hear
arrested
what
a
they
student
said. He was
taken to the
arrested.
hospital after this
the
video
TJ,
shows a
you can
fight in a Milwaukee classroom. It happened this morning at Bayview High School.
A student caught the fight on camera. Katie Crowther looked into what caused his teacher's aide to snap. Katie.
Well, Shannon and Charles, the cell phone video does not show exactly what led up to the fight, but I did speak with some students who say they were in the classroom when it happened and saw everything.
I don't know what the student said to him, but he snapped.
Freshmen say they were watching as their biology class teacher's aide went off on a student, shoving him into a chair and holding him down.
I heard them debating about something, and they got to arguing. So I'm not really paying attention to it. I didn't think it was gonna get that serious. He was telling him to shut up, and the grandma was like, "Stop talking to me." Like,
so you heard from there that the teacher aide just basically snapped, and they also portrayed that the teacher is a great teacher. He's nice, and he's okay with all that, but somehow that teacher happenly snapped, and it shows that the student was in his face. And I'm just saying, and again, that was an African American male, and I'm just saying that it's ridiculous, people. It's ridiculous. Stay out of these grown folks' face. Don't get, and then you want to file lawsuit against, but you're the one continue. I know you're a child, but you're in high school. You still can think. Come on now. You still can think. Come on. Stop. Just stop. I want you to do it. Just stop. Stop it. Okay? Just stop. So now I'm just about to get off here, and I like to talk about Prince. Everybody know I am a Prince fan. I never were a Michael Jackson fan. Never was and never will be. I know he's passed, but Prince, I was like shocked when they I didn't even know he passed. When I walked in work later on that afternoon, I sat up there and found out that he passed. What a tragedy for the United States. That man was awesome, and he can perform and play all instruments and was awesome. Everybody remember International Lover? Oh my God! That man with that International Lover, baby. That was it. That was the song of all. I mean, and I know that he went through a lot with Warner Brothers. Definitely went through a lot with Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers took him through a lot. He finally got away from there. And he just did his thing. He really did his thing. And we all gonna miss Prince. I mean, Prince was everything. I mean, as a performer, he never was a father. He lost from Maite Garcia. They had a baby, and God lost that baby. Then she had a miscarriage afterwards, and they wound up divorcing each other. But he was the thing. I'm telling you, he was. We're gonna miss you, Prince. I mean, you're not gonna find no one like Prince. Man, we really lost a legend. We lost a legend. I mean, Prince, you will be missed. People, a remix of International Lover. Let's do this. Have a great day. I had to play this. Do anybody remember? I had to do it again. Do anybody remember this song? I had to play this song. I had to play this song. I had to just interrupt the broadcast because this was my song. Oh my. And then I'm getting out of here. People, have a great day. Welcome to my den and have a great bye. Bye, 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 bye.